Hello everybody, it's Calxiyn here. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember that you guys should join our Discord server and become patrons over on our Patreon. But now we can go ahead and get started on this week's episode analysis.
I'll be playing Weiss for no particular reason.
Okay, so, I want to just start at the beginning and go at the end. I don't want to do the good stuff first, because then everyone would leave.
You've never done the good stuff.
I know,
I'm
just clarifying for you.
To an annoying extent.
I like how, at the beginning, like, Oscar and RWBY had this little moment where they just looked at each other but didn't say anything, because I was like, why y'all doing that? You know, because I couldn't, like, I don't know, I couldn't figure out why. I guess maybe it was because, like, this is Oscar's first time in battle, like, are you ready sort of thing, you know what I mean?
Also,
so
the whole full moon thing makes a lot more sense now, because the broken pieces of the moon look like they're sort of aligning.
Yeah.
Into
a full piece?
Yes, into a nice little circle.
Yeah, I just thought that when it was a full moon, it would be the back half of the moon. Do you know what I mean? Like, the non-broken part would be showing. But, like, I guess if the moon rotates, that we see both sides of the moon, right?
I mean, their moon may rotate.
No, but I mean, like, when we do our moon.
Our moon doesn't rotate. Our moon is in alignment with us always, so we only ever see the one
Wait, we don't?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I mean, like, if we could.
Yes.
It would have to rotate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that was confusing. But I meant basically, I thought that their moon rotated in a circle so you could see the back half, and that would be the full moon. You know what I mean? The back half that's not broken.
Sure.
But we don't have a broken moon to experiment on in our world, obviously. Anyways.
Probably more fortunately not.
Yeah. That would fuck up some tidal waves or something. Yeah. That was the worst thing that we could possibly start off on. I'm so confused.
You went off on...
Anyway.
I feel partially responsible for that atrocity.
What do you mean? Why?
Because I had to bring up the move. Okay, let's please move on from this.
I just thought that it was interesting that Nora was like, they really do have magic, and I'm like, did you not believe them the first time?
When,
like, I guess seeing it's different, yeah.
On. And there's also a pretty intense scene where Crow essentially realized. Also, Yang recognizes
the bird as
which is
Raven.
like, you can't be inconspicuous acting like a bird inside like a building.
Yeah, I guess
she was expecting.
But nobody else saw her.
Well, I mean, no one else knew to look, I suppose.
Well, I guess. Well, Yang is, like, looking around
Crow
just in
almost
case.
then, like, shoots her.
Yeah, he didn't do a great job. But that's okay.
Life would have been a lot easier had he just killed her.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
Not really.
It would have been.
Raven barely did anything this episode, though. Like, okay, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I like how she was like, if you're gonna shoot me, shoot me. You know what I mean? Like, Raven just has some quality lines.
She's difficult to get a read on. Like, I don't know what to think about her.
Yeah, and so remember how we talked about Raven's plan, and I thought she was gonna pretend to play nice with Crow and then do a third-party thing and get the relic?
Nope.
No, she's not even pretending to play nice. She's just gonna get the relic and sneak it off of, I thought she was gonna do a double betrayal, basically, if you guys saw that video. I still think that she's gonna sneak it from under their nose, right?
Like she said.
Like she said, right? But I was like, like, maybe she'll pretend to work with Crow and then betray him too. She's just like, nah, bitch. Like, I don't do that. Like, I'm an honorable bitch. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't even bother to trick him. That's the thing. And I think that's so telling about her character, that she does not give any fucks, and I love it. Okay, next question.
Next question.
Next question.
Also, I mentioned this in our reaction to it, but I thought that I saw neon in the opening, but it turns out it was just Nora.
Rip.
All the
Rip and
redheads look
pepperonis.
the same.
Anyways, I like how Cinder was, not Cinder, Raven was like, Leo made a choice that any sane man would take, or whatever, and Leo just couldn't say anything. He was just like, don't put words in my mouth. He didn't even say that, you know? It was pretty sad, Leo. Come on. So I thought Raven would pretend that she was gonna work with Crow. Like, when RWBY did that speech, I thought she would be like, alright, everything's okay now. And, like, you know, pretend.
I won't open this portal and have one, like, fireball shoot out of it.
But I guess she had to get Cinder and them through, right? So how could she do that like, she kind of had to commit at that point.
Doesn't that mean she bonded with one of them?
She bonded with Vernal. Vernal came through the portal.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
But yeah. So I like how RWBY and Raven had their first interaction. That was pretty nice. I appreciate that, Rooster Teeth, if you're watching. Just Rooster Teeth. Just not anybody in particular. Just
the IT guys, especially.
Who unblock our videos every week. Anyways, yeah. So...
Another good one.
I thought that was a really nice interaction, like, between them, and then I like how Raven was like, "You're just like your mother," and I was just like, oh dear, that's not good.
Yeah, because I thought she was gonna make some summer reference.
I know.
She did.
And I that's when I thought that she would pretend, and then later betray them and be like, "Oh, Ruby, you're just like your mother." That's what I thought would happen. You know what I mean? Like, that she would trick them and then be like, "Oh yeah, like, your mother thought that I was on her side too, bitch," you know? She didn't do that. I wish that she did. That would have been more interesting, I think, but, like, hire me, Rooster Teeth. I'm still here. I'm okay. I'm 18 now. I can move to Austin, Texas. Also, I like how she opened the portal and all that came out was just a fireball and it hit Ruby directly. Like, how did she know that?
Like, Cinder was prepared for that. She's like, I'm gonna walk in.
How did she know that was gonna aim at someone? Or how that was gonna hit someone? I guess it didn't have to, but, like, it hit her, like, spot on, but whatever.
Cinder knows.
I like how she's like, "Hello, boys and girls." Like, that was really nice. And then how Mercury was like, "Is that any way to greet your old friends?" I thought that was nice.
There was also some really fucked up dialogue between
Emerald and Ruby?
Not Emerald. Well, I mean, you get interesting stuff from Emerald, but more stuff from Cinder and Jean, where Jean just gets
we're not going there yet. I still have 2 pages before we get over there.
Okay, you seem to be rushing towards those
Whatever.
scenes.
Anyways, so I really like how Ozpin looked at Hazel and said, "Oh no."
Yeah, Hazel
I didn't even realize that he did that until during our reaction. I guess I didn't hear what he said, but he actually, like, he was just like, "Ah, shit." Like, and I don't know if that was Ozpin talking or if that was Oscar talking, because Oscar remembers the dude at the train that helped him get to the Witchwear. Yeah. But then Ozpin knows that Hazel's a dangerous-ass man, and so it could be both of them. It's probably just both of them in unison being like, "Yikes, that's not good." Anywho's, I really like that, and I like how Hazel... I didn't hear what Hazel said the first time, but he said, "The White Fang is planning to detonate the school. No one is getting in. No one is getting out." And then you cut...
And
the White Fangs are putting bombs. Okay, he hasn't turned into one yet. Don't hold out. Don't worry. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you. Odin actually had 2 wolves. And so somebody on my video commented on that.
Who's wolf number 2 then?
Maybe it was like one of Hazel's like a brother or a friend or something, and that wolf is dead, and that's why Hazel turned against him.
Alright.
Wolves go in a pack. They're somewhere, don't worry. Are wolves pack animals?
Yes, they are pack animals.
Does the moon rotate under...
By the famous saying of the wolf pack and then the lone wolf, you can assume that.
Anyway, sorry about that.
You try your best,
so, Crow confirmed that those huntsmen were dead, and so did Leo. Like, Leo didn't deny it at all. So, good job, Hunter. You actually predicted that. Congratulations.
I like
you can write for Rooster Teeth.
Everyone's calling out Leo on his bullshit. It's lovely.
I know. I want to just do a whole thing about that later. So John had a really good scene after where he started crying and he was just like, "How broken are you?" Like,
which is what I brought up earlier. Yeah,
for you to
really fucked up
wipe off or to kill people with that smile on your face. And I really like how Cinder was like, Who are you again?
Which is the best possible line I think they could have written for that scene.
I know. It was, I love all the dialogue here. Like, they have gotten so much better at just everything. Man, I'm so happy in my life. Anyways, and I love Jean's face when Cinder says that, because he's just like, what? Like, the look on his face, I don't know. I can't even explain. It's just priceless. I like how Ruby got snared. Like, she was like, "Sean, I'll come help you," and then Emerald was like, "No, you don't, bitch." Like, you know what I mean? Like, she just got her in midair. And Emerald's really gay. Like, can we just talk about this?
Oh,
like,
fuck, yeah.
Emerald was just like, "I don't care about Salem.
Yeah, Ruby
I owe everything to Cinder." Like, how is that a straight woman? Like, I don't, like, y'all are delusional if you think that she doesn't have a crush on Cinder. Like, she may not be, she may,
fuck me.
And remember that when we say gay, we don't mean, like, lesbian, we just mean gay. Like, LGBT community.
I don't.
So
that's just you, but I did.
That's just me. And so I'm not. She just likes Cinder. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, that was such a good ass line. And I love how
what line?
That one where she was just like
okay.
Yeah. I love how all my gays are in the same room.
Yeah,
you got Yang, you got Weiss, you got Vernal, you got Emerald. Like here we go.
I feel like they took a hard right to homosexuality.
I know.
In this season,
I'm glad.
all for it. I also feel bad for when Blake and Ilya and Sun show up.
Yeah, I want to do a video about that separately, just what I think is going to happen to them, because I think it is going to switch to them next week in what they're doing.
Those ice cold bitches.
I know. Anyways, so I like that Vernal didn't even, like, get Weiss at the end, but anyway, Raven was like, go deal with the heiress. Like, was Raven so concerned that she has Vernal to deal with her specifically? But
also,
anyway.
Like,
and I like how Raven kicked Crow in. Like, I don't know if you saw that, but they were fighting, like, with swords or whatever, and with their swords, and then she just, like, and you guys couldn't see that, but that was my kicking noise. She just kicked him, and he was like, bye, bitch. You know, it was nice. It was a good day.
I also really liked how they animated Vernal. It reminds me of how they also animated, Tyrion, where he's loose and kooky and scary.
Yeah, but Tyrion was more crazy. She's a more
she's
controlled.
less kooky, but still has that sort of.
She's fast and loose, you know.
Yeah, she still has that wilt to it. And
I don't like how they basically reused Tyrion's weapon. I know that it's different, but I'm a little angry.
No, it's totally different.
No, it's not. It's still a circular saw. Like it doesn't. You know what I mean?
No, it's not a saw.
You know what I mean, though. It's like
laser beams. I like it.
Whatever. Anyways, I like how Weiss was just like, I'm more than just a name, or whatever she said. That was a nice line. I can't believe Ozpin just ditched. Like, I guess that was Oscar, but Oscar was just like, well, I guess nobody gives a shit about me, and so he just walked up the stairs and started talking to Leo. And Oscar got really good. Very fast.
In a short period of time.
And I like how he tossed Leo down the stairs. Because that shows that it's not just about brute strength, it was also, like, some strategy in there, you know? Like, if he gets too close to the edge of the stairs, he'll trip, fall over, and that'll leave an opening, sort of thing. Yeah. Good job, Oscar. But I don't know, okay, this is what bothers me. I don't understand why Leonardo is spilling his plan right in front of Oscar. Because Leonardo's like, if you're Ozpin, then I can take you to Salem, and she'll give me a handsome reward, and then I can be free! And I'm just like, well, bitch-ass, why are you telling him now? Like, you could have just kidnapped him without him knowing. But you know what I mean? Like, I didn't think that Leo would kidnap him. That's a bit too far for what I thought was going on here, but, like, it's okay. It's fine. Anywho, I put fight and then a question mark. I don't know what that... Oh, it's because Ozpin... or Oscar was like, well, what do I do? And then, Ozpin was just like, fight. Like, and it sounded like it had an uptone at it, right? So it sounded like, not like a question, but you know when people's like, well, isn't it obvious?
Yeah.
Fight! Like, what the, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because questions usually have, like, an uptone, if that makes sense. Like, Hunter, what are you doing today? Or something like that. That's probably not the best example. But, like, yeah. You say questions differently than you say statements, is basically what I'm trying to say. Anywho's. Weiss had a good song in the background of her fight. I think part of it was supposed to be a theme that may be coming out for Vernal, but then later it was the Life is Mine remix. And I appreciate that. Anyways, I like how she made the ice wall, and then we were able to see the drawbacks to the knight. That if the knight doesn't make it all the way out, if that makes sense, he's like, that's probably the easiest time for you to stop the creations is when they're in the middle of being made. Right? So I thought that was nice. Cinder has great lines just all the time. She's like, I remember you now. You're that dense boy who thinks you can play out of your league, or whatever she said. I thought that was really good. And also, I like how we did the Jean and Cinder shipping video last week. I was
waiting for her to be like, and I want her to step on me next.
No, but like, because I was thinking about that, and that's why I was originally gonna do it so that video was later, in terms of our week lineup, because I did a bunch of shipping videos on a binge, and so I was like, something may happen with John and Cinder. We need to do that last week, and now people are commenting on that video like, Anyways, yeah, but Cinder had some great lines during that conversation, and I think that playing out of your league is two things, like, I think it also refers to him trying to get with Pyrrha. But I don't know if she knew about that or gave it. I mean, she probably knows now, but like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
She knows.
Anyways, so I like how Emerald was like, I don't care about Salem. And I also like how Emerald's semblance came into play here, that she tricked RWBY into seeing Cinder and then used that opportunity to kick her, basically. Weiss's aura broke at one point, and I'm not exactly sure what happened to her. I think she just got hit by a bullet because she screamed, and then Cinder was like, are you gonna let her die too? Or something. Remember?
Yes.
But yeah, but she screamed because her aura was done. I don't understand why no one's helping her, though. Like, I kind of get that everybody's preoccupied, but Ren and Nora are both fighting Hazel, and I get that Hazel's kind of big or whatever, but, like, y'all could, like, check on her or rotate. Like, I don't know why everybody went off by themselves when it would probably be easier to fight together.
For having so many villains, or for having so many, like, antagonists and so many of the heroes together in one room, there was a less, like... You know that scene in Volume 3 when they're in the courtyard and they're finding all the Grimm together?
Yeah.
And it's like this big sweeping shot of them all, like...
Because it doesn't make any sense for them to fight apart, not really. And I get that sometimes it happens, but...
I think it makes a certain degree of, like... sense.
I mean, it makes sense, like, narratively to have them separate. Because it's easier, I guess, to keep track of what everybody's fighting, and you can kind of showcase everyone doing their own thing. But it doesn't make sense from a story standpoint, although you'd be like, okay, gang, let's split up. Like, that's a great idea. Like, no, it's not. It's not. But I think they did that more out of necessity, and they thought they could all handle their opponent that they were up against, which I think just works for the characters because it's more of a naivete than anything else.
Yes.
You know? And so I don't think that it's a issue, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think that it's a story problem. Like, I don't think that that's like, oh, well, that's stupid. Like, why wouldn't they all fight together? They're all so dumb. Like, no, it's not a case of them being stupid. That would just make the most sense. Like, I don't think anybody thought that Weiss would. But then leaving Jean to fight Cinder alone, but I guess RWBY was trying to get there. Like, I don't know. It just...
And then Emerald was in the way, and like, when did Emerald get so good?
I mean, I think she was always that good.
I guess so. I don't
because
know.
Remember, she bested Coco when they were a year above.
But
I think that, like... I think that it would help if we had seen the training montage, if that makes sense. Like, for this to make sense, because I'm like, when did Jean get good? Like, you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't, like, personally, if I were Ren and Nora, I wouldn't let Jean be fighting Cinder by himself. Like, I get that they gotta go deal with Hazel, but can y'all, like, multitask? You know what I mean? And so...
But then you can make the argument, what stops Hazel from, like, doubling up on people?
Yeah.
And you're busy doubling up on other people. So I
guess,
think it's fair enough.
Divide and conquer, but divide correctly, because Jean isn't well matched for Cinder, at least not that we've seen, right? And so it's kind of stupid to just leave him over there by himself. Like, I don't know. If I understand that they're all kind of fighting the people that they are. I don't want to say that they're most like, but the ones that they have the most beef with. So Jean's fighting with Cinder, except for Nora and Hazel. They just had to go somewhere. Like RWBY with Emerald, because I feel like that's a different sort of contrast that we've talked about in the shipping video that we did with them. Like Mercury and Yang. Like, it all makes sense. But at the same time, in terms of who I would match each with, I would definitely put Yang. I would switch Yang and then... like, anybody can probably take Mercury, no offense, but he's probably the weakest out of the villains, right? And so I think he is. I think Emerald's at least better than him, and we know Cinder's better than Emerald, right? So he's the weakest. That doesn't mean he's weak, but he's the weakest.
Fair enough.
Right? And so it probably... I don't know. I just have a different ideal, like, strategic pairing for who could take on who, because Yang, like, he threw the fight with Yang, and so he's probably a bit stronger than Yang, but at the same time now Yang has the... You know what I mean? Like, we could go on about trying to figure out who they're best matched with all day, but they went with what was easiest, because in the midst of battle, you're not like, well, team, you know, let's strategize and figure out who has weaknesses against each other. Like, no one's doing that. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying, like, I can't blame them, because I don't think it's like, oh, they're so stupid, why don't they see what I see, you know? Like, if I was fighting against people, too, I would probably just run away. So, they're doing better than me right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they're doing their best is basically what I'm trying to say. I think that Cinder's long weapon was supposed to look like Pyrrha's spear, but if it was animated in Volume 5 animation, because first I didn't recognize it, but the more I looked at it as I rewatched the episode to take notes, I was like, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be, definitely. And we know that she makes her weapons just out of dust, so she could probably just make anything, right?
I guess so.
And so I thought that was a nice touch that she did that. I liked that. Good job, Cinder. Okay, and then the Silver Eyes happened.
Yep.
And nobody else got hurt by it, because I guess Emerald knocked her out. Well, it still could happen like that.
Presumably.
But Cinder was in pain, and so I feel like we gotta talk about that again. Does she have a Grim arm, or is this maiden power issues? Because she was grasping her arm, not her good arm, right?
Because, I guess, I don't know if she's, I don't think she's a Grim. Where do you get that idea from?
Because the Silver-Eyed powers can hurt, we know that they can hurt Grim.
Aren't they always also, like, stated as being really good against...
But we didn't see what happened. Like, I mean, we saw what happened, I should say, but we didn't see what happened the first time. And so what I'm saying is that you see everybody else in the room, they weren't affected by it, right?
Even, I suppose, Vernal, but I guess she was, like, aiming it at something.
Yeah, and Vernal is also a maiden, right?
Yeah, but she wasn't really aiming it at
Yeah, but it went through the entire room.
I suppose it flashed. Like
Vernal was okay, so it seems like Cinder has a separate issue, and that's where I'm steering towards Grim Arm. And, like, we can be like, well, it wasn't in Vernal's direction, we don't know. But, like, it went through the whole room. It was like a giant, like, woo! Like, it was,
also,
you know what I mean?
Also, they make a big deal of showing of how Jean almost cracks her mask.
Yeah,
so maybe
and so that's what I'm saying, she's a Grim under there. But I want to do a separate video about that, because I have a lot to say. Anyways... I also really like Cinder's leg on John. I wrote that down because I was just
I know,
like,
because you're jealous and you want her to step.
I'm not jealous. Jean's gonna die. But that's okay.
You get to live to fap another day.
I know. So, okay, I kind of knew that Weiss was gonna get it because two things. People were freaking out, and I was just like, okay, that's
I thought it was
good.
gonna be Jean.
Well, here's the thing. They were focusing on Jean, and they were focusing on Weiss a lot more than everyone else. And so when everyone was freaking out, I basically put 2 and 2 together and like, okay, she's probably gonna get hurt, right? So I wasn't as surprised as I think you guys expected me to be, but that's, you can blame other people for that, just because, like, I don't want to say I was spoiled, but when everybody's like, Kel, you're gonna start crying when you find out what happens, like, it loses its meaning, right? Because you know something bad's gonna happen, so you're not surprised. Like, I call those casual spoilers. Like, when somebody, for example, if you're playing a video game and someone's like, the next boss is gonna have you shook, Cal. Like, no, it's not. Not anymore, because you just told me that you think that it does. Like, it doesn't work. And so, that was kind of my problem. But I did really enjoy the scene, and I was genuinely surprised. I didn't think that was exactly what was gonna happen. So yikes. I don't think that's through her heart, though. Like, I'm no expert or anything. But what side of her chest was that on?
What?
Like, that she was stabbed on. Like, what side of her chest was that on?
Like, it hung off the side.
But what side? Your heart's on your left, isn't it?
No, your heart's in your center.
What do you mean it's in your center?
It's in your
center. I thought
center.
it was only on one side.
No, it's in your center, so I'm told.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh.
So can I just state out loud if I think
her boob is probably like dead.
Her nipple is gonna be all sorts of fucked up. But can we state, or are you saving that?
Well,
for another video?
I wanted to do a video talking about Weiss's fate, and if a member of Team RWBY can die. I think it's a much more loaded question that we should give to this.
Okay,
video.
but I suppose
you can talk about your short answer.
My short answer would be no. I don't think she's gonna die. Just because they don't even do the whole like Pyrrha disappeared. All they showed.
Yeah, but that's different because the weapon disappeared.
The weapon disappeared
because it blew up.
And it wasn't at her like vital organs, and she's also like a main character. And I think Monty said something along the lines of like, "Hey man, people are gonna get fucked up in RWBY." So no, I don't think she's dead. I know you clearly disagree. So
it's not that I disagree, it's that I disagree with your reasoning. Like, and again, I do want to do a bigger video on this, but if you guys are just curious to what I think, I don't think that main character plot armor protects any of them. I don't think her not disappearing matters because Cinder just incinerated her when they touched her. I don't think it matters at all.
I think that it'll have, like, big consequences what happens there. However, I don't think Weiss is dead.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, her not disappearing isn't proof, because Cinder just incinerated her, right?
I mean, in some respects...
Cinder's weapons are made out of dust, and so her weapon just disappeared because it blew up, right?
Yeah, but the rest of her body didn't disappear. Like it did with Yang, and like it did with Pyrrha.
What do you mean, with Yang?
Because when Yang's arm got cut off, it disappeared.
Her arm disappeared?
Yeah.
Her entire arm?
Yeah, like the arm that fell off.
But like, that has nothing... Wait, but that doesn't make any sense. Why would it... I don't think it disappeared. I thought it was lying on the ground for a while next to her. I don't think the body parts just vanished.
No, it totally did. Like, I think that's relatively canonically what happened.
No, I don't think that is.
No, it
Think about Tyrion's tail. It didn't disappear. It just chilled there.
Okay, that didn't, but like...
And I don't think her arm actually disappeared either.
Her arm definitely did, and also
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
Pause the video. Pause the video.
Oh my God.
We're going to be arguing about this forever.
It's because...
Pause the fucking video.
No, I'm not. Because Cinder incinerated her with fire, right? And that's why she disappeared. Adam didn't do that.
It happened.
No, it didn't.
Absolutely positive it happened.
Okay, her arm got cut off and it flew away. It didn't just vanish in midair. It probably just wasn't next to her in the scene.
I'm almost positive.
Hunter, the reason why...
I'm almost positive.
Hunter, the reason why Pyrrha went away wasn't because she was dead. It was because Cinder burned her body alive, Hunter.
I don't care enough about this to argue.
What about the huntsman that died? He didn't disappear.
You know, yeah, he didn't, but it happened... So it didn't happen, and it didn't happen in Tyrion, but it did happen with Pyrrha, and it did happen with Yang.
Her body part didn't disappear, Hunter.
I'm almost positive.
It didn't.
I'm almost positive.
You're... Okay.
Do you really want to talk about this for so long?
I mean, maybe.
I have the stomach flu. I'm over your shit.
You don't have the stomach flu.
I do.
You don't.
I do.
You haven't gone to the doctor.
No. Well, you... Anyways, continue.
Anyway, it didn't... Like, okay... The reason why Pyrrha was incinerated is because Cinder, like, basically blew her up. Like, or set her on fire, and she burned to death. Like, that's pretty much what happened.
Almost there. Listen, Cal, I don't want to argue about this. Can we move on, please?
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense.
I just think, okay, so what do you think? Is she dead or alive?
Well, I want to talk about that in a separate video, because I don't have an easy answer.
Oh, of course you fucking don't. You don't have an answer that can't be monetized into a 10-minute separate video.
Well, what can you do? Sorry. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I don't know what Hunter's talking.
Jesus Christ.
Tyrion's tail didn't go away. Okay, it didn't happen to him. The huntsman's body didn't. Okay, it didn't happen to him.
But it happened
That's a little inconsistent.
I'm just saying it's happened before and it didn't happen there. It also didn't look like it was vital organs. I don't think they're going to kill off the main characters.
Her boob is gone.
Her boob's probably gone. I mean, there's also in one sense where they made, like, they gave her a lot of character development right before this occurred.
Anyway,
so maybe that could be,
talk about this separately
like
for a reason.
Pre-death character development. I don't know for certain. I don't think they're killing her off for good.
Anyways.
Like, same shit sort of happened with Crow where they really cut it short, but he didn't die either.
We will see y'all later in our other videos. I hope you enjoyed this analysis. I think that she could die.
You almost said from a writing perspective.
I think that she could die. Whether she will is a different story, and that's why I feel like we have to talk about it more. But anyways, Discord server, Patreon, you guys know the drill by now, and we'll see you later. Bye, guys.